You're here. We've got my good friend and frequent collaborator here with me, Mr. Paul Gowder. So we're going to have fun talking about some Facebook news, a bunch of other stuff, things that have changed. That was pretty interesting. So I'm excited for you guys to ask Paul all your questions. So as we're going along today, make sure you're asking your questions wherever you're watching from. Ask those questions down below. We'll try to bring them up on the screen and get to those. We want to make this as interactive as possible. And do us a favor, I think we bring a lot of value every week to this show. I would love it if you would share it with a friend, either tell them personally, send them the link from wherever you're watching, because I think this is a great show, and Paul's going to be a great guest, dropping a lot of value today. So I'm excited about that. And we've got some of our good friends showing up today. We got the amazing Amy Keys. She has made an appearance on the show. And she's also was in our mastermind, our live mastermind thing we did a couple weeks ago. If you haven't checked that out, you need to. She's a great member inside of there. And the amazing Zach Brown saying, happy Friday, you wonderful people. Happy Friday to you too, Mr. Brown. And Connor Brown, as a matter of fact, is actually, I don't know if he's on a boat. I think he may be at a wedding. I'm not sure. But he's hopefully going to be back with us soon. We're also going to get ready for the month of April. We're going to do a series that I'm titling Side Hustle Secrets. And we've got some great guests coming up talking about how they have used AI and all this stuff to do their side hustle and what they're doing in today's creator economy. I think it's going to be a great show. But today, we're talking about Facebook. And we've got the amazing, but mostly Disney, saying in the hot seat. And then Chris Stone from the amazing Cast Ahead saying, hey, guys. Hey, good to see you watching over on YouTube. So, without further ado, I'm going to hit go. Paul Gowder, by the way, how are you doing? I'm sorry, I'm rushing around. How you doing?
I'm great. Yeah, it's great. I'm excited to talk Facebook and see everybody, Zach, and let's see, Sean, Chris. Hey, guys, it's going to be a good day.
So I'm going to hit go on the podcasting machine, and we will get started. Hello, folks. Welcome to Creator News Live. I'm Jeff C., and you're not. And today we are talking with the amazing Paul Gowder. As I find my teleprompter, there it is, and it says, I'm Jeff C. and you're not, and this is the show that keeps you up to date on what's happening in the world of the creator economy and so much more. You ever found yourself wondering how people are actually making money on Facebook right now? Maybe you're trying to figure out what's working, what's not, and whether it's even worth your time anymore. Or maybe you've heard about these bonuses and monetization tools, but have no idea how to access them or where to start. If any of that sounds familiar, well, you're in the right place, because today we're excited to welcome the amazing Paul Gowder back to the show. He's the founder of powwows.com and someone who has spent over 2 decades building and growing a thriving online community. Paul's going to be breaking down how Facebook monetization really works, what creators should be focusing on today, and how to use these tools like the professional dashboard to turn content into real revenue. So sit back, clear your schedule, clear your mind, and get ready for this week's episode of Creator News Live.
If your posts aren't getting clicks and you're stuck on what to fix, Paul Gowder's here to say, here's how Facebook starts to pay.
That's a good one.
There we go. They came out with a new model. Yes. So I had to do some stuff. Yeah. So that was Suno, of course. We do that every week for all our guests. But Paul, how are you doing today, my friend?
It is a great day. I'm excited to talk Facebook. If you've been with me at a conference in the last year, you know I've been preaching this and telling everybody they got to get back on Facebook. So I'm excited to dive into this a little more today.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. And by the way, a great Facebook group to get in is our friends over on Ecamm. They are the sponsors of the show. You can find out more about them at ecamm.com/Jeff. If you use code Jeff15, you'll save 15% on your first purchase at Ecamm. But they do have an amazing, amazing community. There's some exciting things coming down the pike that we'll be talking about next month. But make sure to check them out at ecamm.com/Jeff. But Paul, I wanted right off the back, we're talking about Facebook monetization today. Yeah. But there was a little confusing, and I mean, even in our mastermind, we talked about this. Katie Fox and I were working on trying to set up some stuff for the Maker's Table, which is going to be a little bit later day at 1 p.m. Central. But trying to set up Facebook pages and profiles. And when I did it a long time ago, I had a Facebook profile, and they wanted you to do like a Facebook creator kind of thing. And I was able to copy all my followers on my personal profile over to the real Jeff C, where I stream the show, do a lot of businessy kind of stuff. But you're saying now having a personal profile and a creator page, or you don't, it's kind of different now. You don't have to have a whole nother kind of entity. Am I right?
Yes. And Facebook made that change, for a while. Like, they didn't want you posting business content on your personal stuff. They wanted you to just be you and, posting family pictures and what you had for breakfast. But they realized that people are multifaceted. So they turned on, it's called professional mode now. So you can go into your personal profile and say, hey, look, I am a creator. And that unlocks a bunch of new features. You get a professional dashboard, you get analytics, and it basically works the same as a Facebook page. There's a few little things that are different, but Facebook treats you like a business now. You can still post and have friends and family, but your profile then also has the ability to have followers. And so for people that you might not know, but you want to, you want them to keep up with you, they can follow instead of friending you. It opens up a lot more things, and I really like that Facebook has done this, because now you don't have to have kind of the Jeff C personal, the Jeff C business. Yeah, it's all one thing. So if you're looking at that, just go in and look for professional mode.
So is that because the AI or the algorithm is so good that it'll put the stuff that is like for your family, it'll go to that, and if it's for like your business, it'll filter it through that way. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Exactly. Facebook's gotten so good at, when you post a piece of content, it's reading it's reading the picture, it's reading the video, it's listening to the words, it knows where to send each of those pieces of content. So if you're going to use your personal profile to build your business, and you're posting 2 or 3 times a day about Facebook monetization, your grandma is not going to see that probably. Right. She's going to only see when you post that photo from the cruise.
Got it. So the other thing, for a lot of times, it was like forbidden. Like, you were not allowed to. You could be like taken down, or they'd slap your hand or something if you would do businessy stuff on your personal profile. So that's kind of gone away.
Yeah.
Oh, I lost you.
More of a creator now. And Facebook's gotten a little looser with some of these rules now, because they have a problem. They realized a couple of years ago, which is where all the stuff we're talking about kind of came from, is that they didn't have enough content to run ads against. And Facebook, if you don't know, is really an ad network, and that's where they're getting their money. And if they don't have creators or people posting, then there's no content, there's no eyeballs to put ads against. So they've opened up a lot of this stuff, and they're encouraging creators to, and we'll talk more about how they're really rewarding and incentivizing more creators to come to the platform. But yeah, they want you posting this stuff now.
Okay. So that's good to know, because so let's say you're an OG, well, that means old guy, like me, and you have these two. What should you do? Should you delete one and go on the other one? Should you still keep posting on both places like you used to do? What is your advice for that?
What I've done is because like with powwows, we used to have a page for like different parts of powwows, like one for photos and one for video, and then one for general. We even had one for our event calendar. And so I've gone into Facebook and archived all of those, and we just post on one. Same thing for my personal. At one point, I tried to spin up a page where I could post more businessy stuff on the personal side, or coaching, consulting, and I've left that one out there, but I'm just not posting anymore, because you can do so much with your personal profile now. I'm just posting everything there. So yeah, I think it is time to consolidate down and pick a profile. You don't have to delete the other one. You can leave it there, or you can. Facebook does have an archive function, so it still stays there. You can still see it, and but it's not being promoted. But yeah, go to one place now.
Got it. All right. That's good clarifying topic, because I know a lot of people are confused about that. One of the things that I wanted to ask the audience as we get started is if Facebook monetization, if it paid you monthly, would you post more there? So if you would see some real like money coming in, would you post more on Facebook? Or are you like, I am done with Facebook. I'm out of it. I'm out of I don't want to have anything to do with it anymore. I would love to know what you think. So answer the question down below. Like if you got paid you monthly, would you post more there? And we've got some questions and content coming. The Disney hotel lady is saying, hey, Stacy, she says we're watching live for 20 minutes until she has to drive the school bus. Okay. Thank you for tuning in while you can. Don't drive and watch at the same time. And Pat Mills, good to see you again, Pat. I haven't talked to you for a bit. She goes, this is my main area of needing more info and tips, so hopefully we can do this today. And the amazing Rich Graham is saying, Heidi ho, neighbors. And Pat says she's had the professional dashboard for a little while. Is this what you're talking about? And I believe that's what we are talking about. Yeah. So
exactly. Yes.
So Ray says, yes, if I could make money, I would do it on Facebook. And Pat Mills, yes, I would. Sign me up. So Paul's going to walk us through that. He's helped a lot of people. In fact, Sean from But Mostly Disney actually did some of Paul's advice, and he got, what was it, 1 million views last month?
On 1 million views. And I think Sean, correct me in the comments, but I think he said over 2 million in the last 90 days. And I think he has 5,000 followers or so. Again, Sean, correct me, but I mean that's unreal. And that's what we're talking about. And I want to preface what we're going to say. Yes, Facebook, you can make some money, but because of how much attention they're giving content, don't just think about you're trying to make a play for money, because starting out, you're not going to make much. It's going to be pennies. It may be enough to, get you a Starbucks once a month. But look at Sean. He got 1 million views. It's going to
go back and say that again. So I lost you for a minute.
Yeah, my internet's acting weird apparently. So Sean got 1 million views. So that means 1 million people saw his brand, saw his content. There's nowhere else that you can do that. Maybe TikTok, but not all of us want to create videos every day. Mm-hmm. Facebook, you can post text and 1 million people see it. Don't just think about the money. Think about the reach for your business and what that can do for you, and how then you can drive them to your offers, to your, if for like Sean, if he's driving them to his newsletter, or, having them book a trip with him. But yeah, he says 2.3 million in the last 90 days. Unreal, Sean. Congrats, man. That's so cool.
Yeah. So very, very cool. And Sean said, he goes, I love Facebook, but YouTube is his goal, but he's making double on Facebook over YouTube right now. Now,
yes,
it's kind of the same. Like, you're not going to be able to quit your job by AdSense on YouTube or even Facebook money. But I tell you what, it kind of encourages you when you start making a little bit of money posting content. I mean, that's what we want as a content creator. So it kind of lights a fire underneath you, like Sean. And it kind of says, okay, people are watching my stuff. They like what I'm doing. Okay, what other steps could I do? Could I offer a course or a service or something, and not just rely on that Facebook money, but that reach will give, the top of the funnel, bringing some more stuff down. So we're going to talk about that. It's so cool to see people have success especially with Paul's advice that he's done before. So let's talk about this Facebook kind of content monetization and how we can actually, use it to our advantage. So what is it? And I know it was at one time called the Reels bonus, the bonus program. Now it's kind of all rolled up into one program. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, okay. So let's talk about what the program is. Like I said earlier, this is Facebook's way of incentivizing people to post more content. And they, over the past 2 years, they've called it all kinds of different things. There was the Reels bonus, where you just got paid for posting Reels. Then there was they just called it the bonus program, and it was really kind of nebulous, and you still don't know to a certain extent what you're getting paid for. But they had if you get so many views, you would get paid this much. But they've consolidated all, and it is called the Content Monetization Program. It's invite only, but you can go into your profile and kind of request to be a part of it. Or it may have just been turned on and you didn't even know it. But once you get in the program, Facebook will pay you for posting text, photos, links, stories, reels. All of that becomes monetizable.
Got it. So they have to turn it on. And if I had thought I had turned it on, but I had to do it. I think I had to go to the mobile version of the app to do it in, because it wasn't showing up on desktop. Where can they find it to see if they have it turned on, for their account? Because I thought I had it, but I didn't.
Yeah. So, and this is one of the frustrating things as we talk more about how all this works. The mobile app has different features than your desktop does, and it is frustrating. But if you have professional dashboard turned on, you go to your, I'm gonna pull out my phone and do it with you. So go to your Facebook, go to your page, your profiles page. So like, this is my personal page. You'll have a big blue button that says dashboard. Click on that, and then you have to scroll to the side at the top, all your choices, analytics, content, community. Scroll over, there'll be a monetize. If you are invited into the program, you'll have the ability to turn it on. If not, there'll be something there that says content monetization, and it'll tell you about the program, and there's a little button to express interest.
Got it. So I want to bring up some comments really quick because I want to make sure this is clear because a lot of people have this question. So Zach says, I've had a separate account for my podcast for a while. Didn't know if posting my personal stuff would be weird among my creator stuff. And he says, would you recommend solely posting everything to my personal page? And then Zena says, I have the same question too. Like this is, she goes, I just got content monetization last week, so all the information to help me is good. So once again, hit this hard that you only need that creator page, but you have to go and turn it on.
Yes, I recommend, because you're getting paid for the views, the engagements. Don't spread yourself too thin. Consolidate everything down to one thing on Facebook and post all your content there. Zach, I would post your podcast. I would post the walk videos you're doing, all of that kind of stuff. Post it all to your personal and let that be the one source for it. You're going to see better results. Now, can you spin off other pages? And I know a lady who does recipe as her main stuff, and she spun off a new Facebook page all about vintage holiday collectibles, and she gained like 10,000 followers in a few weeks. Okay, that's cool, but that's a whole, that's probably completely different, and you're doing a little bit different. That's more of a business kind of thing. But yeah, for now, consolidate everything to one profile and post everything there. And you have, when I say post, I mean at least once a day, if not 3, 4, 5 times a day.
Yeah. So this is a great question from Rich Graham because, we're talking about putting a bunch of content out there, putting it there. He goes, okay, he's got a question. Posting about politics and news, yay or nay? What do you say to that, Paul?
Politics and news, they will get you views and they will get you paid. But what do you want to be known for, right? There are people making tons of money posting that kind of content. Is that what you want to be? If you want to be a news and, here's my take on politics kind of thing, yeah, sure. If you are trying to grow your business, I would probably stay away from it, because you're going to attract an audience that's more about the debates and the fighting and that kind of stuff. For me, I'm going to stay away from that. I'm going to go more of the positive side of things. I'm going to focus on that because that's who I want to attract to my audience. So it just depends on, think about who you want to attract. If you're trying to remember some of these guys out there that are doing the politics stuff, they do it really well and they are attracting huge audiences, but that's kind of what they want to be known for.
Yeah. And it's all about getting the right audience. Like you can post stuff that you will grow a big audience, but that audience may not be the one that you want. So this is a great question from Rich as well. He goes, do either of you ever get any stars? And I have gotten 1 or 2, and that's one of the things you can, when you go into your dashboard, you can monetize for one of the I think one of the earlier things. And I just don't see it as much. I think it's kind of because they kind of quit pushing live streaming, but what's your thoughts on that, Paul?
On my personal, I don't know that I've ever gotten stars on powwows.com business. We occasionally will get them. Usually it's during a live because Facebook encourages live people to give stars. I just don't see stars. I haven't seen it working well as something to depend on. It's a nice tip every once in a while. I just don't. I think they're going to have to revamp that a little bit because it's, on TikTok, sending the little rewards and stuff is a big deal, and it's part of the whole TikTok thing. Facebook, the stars thing just hasn't taken off the same way.
Got it. So I guess we got so many questions. This is great. So
Yeah, this is great.
we're kind of going off script. So here we go. Pat Mills says, I used to build business pages for companies in the past, but was told that posting too much daily, even though their page was growing and growing fast, not to do that. So what are your thoughts to Pat? Is that old news?
That is old news. Some of the creators I'm following in this whole monetization space, people on powells.com, we're posting 15 to 20 times a day. I know some creators that are posting 20 to 40 times a day. Yes, you can post multiple times a day. A lot of the people in this whole monetization space is saying there's really no posting too much anymore. So I would not go from posting once a week to posting 10 times a day. You need to let Facebook adjust.
No, you're there.
My internet's okay. Facebook needs to learn your content and learn your kind of your day. When that starts doing okay, then maybe add a second or third post a day. Do it slowly. Don't just all of a sudden post 100 times a day.
Got it. So kind of ramp up slowly. Let Facebook learn your new algorithm or your posting schedule, and then you can see some benefits from that. Okay, so we got more questions. Zena says, I have a page where I post my finds with links. Move all that over to my personal page where I'm currently monetized. Is that what you would do?
Yes, but most from what I have seen and what my experience is, you want to post. You can still post links to send people offsite as a link post, but you really want to limit those to 2 to 3 times a day, and make sure you're still posting 2 to 3 other types of content. If all you're posting is 3 links a day, you're going to kill your reach. Facebook does not want to see that. Link posts do still work, but you have to mix in the content, and then experiment too. Post those same kind of things and put the link in the first comment. That can work some, but really you have to mix up your content. You can't do all of one type.
This is a great question from Ray. He says, I have a separate book series and have different Facebook pages for each. Often these are different readers. Does it make sense to post on these pages and on the personal page as well? Or should he consolidate it all down to, hey, this is Raymond Keating, the author? Like, what would you say to that?
So first, I mean, it depends on how big the followings are. I mean, if you've got tens of thousands of followers on some of those, I will look at it first. But generally, I would say yes, consolidate it all down to one. It's probably, it is different types of readers. Again, Facebook is so good at figuring out your audiences. They will take care of putting that out to the right readers.
Very cool. Keep the questions coming. We love this. This is great. So
Rich
says, follow up. Should I delete old political stuff I posted? So if you're trying to, is there any use of cleaning up your feed? I remember like in Instagram back in the day, people were like, I've got to make my, whatever look the greatest and have it all like laid out right. So is there any worth doing that?
Generally, the advice is do not delete Facebook content. Now, if Rich, you go back and some of those posts are nothing but people fighting in the comments, then I would consider maybe removing all the comments and leaving the post. Again, Facebook is going to learn what you're posting. So look at those posts. And if they're nothing but fighting, I might want to get rid of them. If not, leave them. Facebook is learning who you are. So just leave it there.
Very cool. Another question. Well, this is a comment from mostly Sean at but mostly Disney. Says, I'm not looking to be big on social media, generally speaking. I just want to do my thing, so I leave out everything else. Maybe slower, but hopefully better. So I think with Sean, it's the consistency. He's doing your advice, but he's consistent at it. He's continuing to put out content. He does his live show every week. Put the link down below wherever you're watching from, Sean, because I can't remember what night. I think it's on Thursdays. I can't remember. Anyway, I usually see it in my feed and go watch. But go follow Sean. But he's being very consistent. I think that's one of the best things that you can do when you're trying to get monetization. And speaking about monetization, Rich says, stars is the only monetization I can turn on in my profile right now. Now, make sure, I would say, Rich, to make sure you check it on mobile, because sometimes it just doesn't sync up right. So
Right. Yeah. And then, Rich, you just have to keep posting. and make sure you're posting 1 or 2 times a day, and do that for a month or two, and you should get monetization turned on.
And he's got this comment, which, so let's say somebody's like Rich, he's got gazillions of Instagram Reels and TikToks. Should I just start posting those on Facebook? Let's talk about duplicate content a little bit.
Yes, you should post that. So, and here's the really cool thing about Reels, that if you're really trying to grow your TikTok, maybe you want to tailor your videos a little different for TikTok. But generally speaking, I just post the same content across all the platforms. But what's really cool about Reels on Facebook, as opposed to some of the other platforms, encourages you to do that. So
go back and say that again. We had a stutter.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah. Say that again.
If you have a batch of Reels, you can post them, and then a few weeks later, post them again. Facebook does not penalize you for posting the same video multiple times.
That's awesome to know. So keep your questions coming. This is great. So you got an expert in the house, so you can ask him all these questions. So do my comments on other people's posts affect my reach at all, from Rich Graham?
Not directly, but Facebook's reading everything you do. So it is learning your voice and what content you are active on. What I like to tell people is, you should spend a few minutes every day engaging in other people's content, just so that Facebook sees that you're active. It will help. I mean, some of those people will come over to you and look at who you are, but you need to be in discussions and adding real value, not being like, hey, come over and join, buy my product.
Right.
But if there's a question that you can answer it and give true value, and Facebook will reward you with that.
Very, very cool. So this is Zena has followed up in her post, and she says, it took me about 2.5 months to get monetized with content. Stars was first for her.
Yep.
And then Sean was telling us, I asked him to put when his show is at, his live show. It is Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. So make sure you follow, but mostly Disney, because he does a lot of cool stuff there. Here's a great question from Pat. Should we build engagement with followers? Like ask questions, engage with them. How important is that when it comes to monetization?
Yes. So what Facebook is looking at to determine if they're going to push your content out to more people is they're looking at if it's shared, if it's sent to somebody like in Messenger or a text message, then comments, then likes. So you do want to encourage shares and comments as much as possible. If we go back and talk about Sean, most of the content he's getting that big amount of views on, he's posting text that is just an either or question, or what's your favorite kind of question. They're just conversation starters. Facebook rewards that, and they love it. Now, what I would experiment, and Sean and I talked about this the other day, is post some of that as text, then take that same, so one of the first ones that Sean did when we were back at Momentum is posted Mexico or Canada. And if you're an Epcot person, that is a debate which way you start going around the World Showcase. So I would take that same post it as text, but then, use an AI program or whatever and come up with a really cool image of the Canadian flag and Epcot and like an arrow which way, and post it as an image, and you'll start learning like what your audience resonates with. Some people, it may just be your audience resonates with text. Some may be images. You just have to, those are the kind of experiments you have to do.
Got it. Yeah. Sean goes, engagement seems to be how the money comes in. And
Yes.
Michelle says, I've been posting daily, but I am working to increase the amount. She loves using SmarterQ. Does answering questions and engaging not only on her own content, but on other pages, does that help? Like if you go into like Paul's community or some other, like Social Media Examiner's community about Social Media Market World or whatever, does that help you in any direct way when you go off your page?
Yes, Facebook is looking at how active you are. So you do want to be active. And I see a lot of people asking about how many times a day to post. Stacy mentioned going from 1 to 2. If you're posting once or twice a week right now, jump to 2 times a day. I just don't jump from posting once a week to 10 times a day. Do that gradually. But yes, you want to be posting multiple times a day. And here's the thing, folks. Not everything you post is going to pop off and be a viral success. You have to do these experiments and learn it. And if you're only posting once a week, it's going to take you 3 months to figure out what does work. So posting twice a day, you're going to learn quicker what's working and what resonates with that.
Yeah. So with me, I noticed, so I posted some other types of content. I started doing 3D printing. I did a time lapse of something being printing, and that popped off. Like it went and it made money. I mean, it wasn't a lot. It was like $3 or something, but because I posted it to both Instagram and Facebook, and those combined together and got my it was like, I think 2,000, which is really high for me.
Awesome.
So yeah, so that was, I mean, that's, you have to experiment with this new stuff. And by the way, Paul has, I don't know if it's still going, but your 21 and 10 challenge, Zach says, really gets the engagement going for him, which he did.
Thank you.
So
yeah, it's still out there. paulgowder.com/Facebook challenge.
And Zena says she's posting in other groups is where she's making her money right now. So that's cool.
Yeah. Now, posting in groups can make money. Some groups, Sean and I have been looking at this. Some groups don't make you any money, and we haven't figured out how to tell the difference. But just watch those posts, and you can kind of figure it out by trial and error. But yes, posting in groups do make money. Stories make money. So any kind of content you're posting has potential to get that monetization.
Very cool. This is a great. I want to get this question, and I'm going to go back to Rich's. He says, part of my morning routine is this is from Sean from But Mostly Disney. Part of his morning routine is responding to all of the comments, though it's starting to get difficult to do. I also engage on other posts in the groups I belong to. That brought up, oh gosh, last year we had Vincent on. He does a bunch of communities. I can't remember his last name, but he has a thing where he calls the Hour of Power, where the first thing he does in the morning, he gets up, he either leaves voice messages for people or he responds to comments. So I love that idea, like what Sean is doing. It's do things that can't scale like that. Like that's hard to do, but it makes all the difference in the world. Let's see here. This is the question from Rich. He goes, and this is a huge topic that we need to talk about. Posting links. Is posting the link in the first comment smarter than doing it in the post? And there was news, I think, a couple of months ago where they're going to start limiting links, or you can only get like 10 thing, and you have to be verified and all that kind of stuff. So talk about links in post.
Okay. So if you did see that post, I know several big Facebook creators out there shared it. I talked with some representatives that I know at Meta. That was Australia. It is
go back.
It is not policy.
You hung up again. Go back and say it one more time.
What is up with my internet? If you saw that post about Facebook limiting how many posts you can have unless you're verified, that was a very limited test. I have talked to folks at Meta. Very limited test. It has not rolled out into policy. They have no plans for it to be official policy. However, you should not be posting direct link posts more than twice a day. Yes, use comments and put your link in that first comment. But again, experiment. Do it both ways and see what works. And if you're using Smarter Queue, you can kind of queue this stuff up and let it repeat. I had one post, this happened last year. I had one post that had been in my Smarter Queue for 2 or 3 years. And all of a sudden, it's a link post. All of a sudden, it got like 2 million views in one day and drove 20,000 visitors to my website. You don't know what's going to happen. So you just have to keep experimenting to see what's going to work. And here's another thing I've been experimenting with. It's working fantastically well for me. And I feel like this is free rolling. You're using Facebook's algorithms to help you. I'm posting in the first comment email landing pages. And, I love growing my email list, and it's working. People are clicking on it and subscribing to the email. So that's another way to use that first comment. And cool. I was showing somebody this yesterday. If you don't know, if you're using Facebook, on the desktop, you can go in, create a post, schedule it for, next week. In your Facebook profile, you can go and look at that post and start making comments on it right now. Which is pretty powerful, right? Now, if you're using something like Smarter Queue, it allows you to schedule the first comment as well. But just using the native desktop web browser in Facebook, you can go into your professional dashboard, look at all your scheduled posts, and write comments on them.
That's really cool. There's some really good
That's really cool.
possibilities you can do with that. So,
Yeah.
so Dustin, hey Dustin from Hey Magi, the amazing creator of Magi, says your ISP doesn't want this info to the world. It's a conspiracy. That's why you keep getting frozen. Well, you know what? This is live video. That's what happens. We'll just keep going. This is a great question from Michelle. We kind of covered it, but let's dive into it a little more. Should I focus on text, video, or photo post? What's best? Or is just posting anything and everything the rule to follow? What are your thoughts on that, Paul?
Yes, post early and often in all the different types of content. You have to give Facebook lots of content to see what's going to work. Reels may be what your audience likes, but you're not going to know that until you post 10 or 20 of them and see what's working. And, Michelle, I saw a creator do this the other day, and it's a heck of an experiment. She posted 50 times on her personal profile in one day, but also posted the same content several times in that day. What, as a reel, as a text, as an image, as a text with a Facebook background, and then was able to look at all that and say, oh, okay, well, my audience responded to this type of post. So that you just have to experiment. Like we'll go back to Sean. Obviously, his audience is responding to text posts and responding really, really well. And that might be what works for you. But you won't know until you just start trying it.
And you have to continue to keep experimenting. I see so many,
yes,
and a lot of times it's with agencies, but they're using stuff and techniques that worked 5 years ago, and it's just a waste, right? It's just a waste. It's driving down any good content that you might have in there. If people aren't liking or engaging with your other posts, it's just driving down the other stuff. So keep experimenting, keep trying stuff. That's what Paul is so good about doing. He goes in there and tries all this different stuff. Yeah, so Michelle says, so much to do, so little time. I know, it's hard. That's why we have people like Paul on to keep us, active and understanding all this stuff.
And so here's a really good tip about what's going to work. Go into your professional dashboard, click on analytics, and scroll down. And Facebook has a section that's called what's working for you. And it's telling me, hey, right now, your reels are performing 41,000% better than your other content. And I need my reels should be 15 to 30 seconds long. So Facebook's going to tell you what's working. You have to go into your professional dashboard, read all that stuff, and listen to what Facebook said. And it does change, Jeff. Like a month ago, Facebook was telling me to post more text. And how many times a day? Facebook actually told me in my app, hey, this week you need to post 27 more times.
That's nuts. But at least it's
crazy.
It's telling you what to do. Yeah. So whenever, so this goes for any platform, whenever there's a new thing or it tells you to do something, it's going to give that a boost because that's what they're needing. That's what they may be low on ad inventory for reels or whatever, and they need more of that. So I think it's really, really interesting that it's telling you. Now, is that only in the mobile app or is that in the one on the desktop as well?
Some of that is in the desktop, but do look at it in both places because Facebook puts different things in both places. It's so frustrating.
So Dustin says, man, wouldn't it be great if your favorite AI assistant could do all of this experimentation for you? Stay tuned. Oh, Magi, you're such a tease. You're such a tease, Magi. All right. So we'll make sure we have Dustin on and talk about some of this new stuff. But Pat is she's watching over on YouTube saying, so excited for this. I love managing small companies' Facebook pages in the past. Might jump back in. Yeah, lots of cool stuff happening. And man, we're already at 20 minutes left of the show. So keep your questions coming because this is going to go faster than any of us realized. But I want to talk about a little bit, Paul. We talked about monetization, but this new bonus. Now, this was in the news last week. Mashable is where I found it from. The headline was "Get $3,000 for posting on Facebook." So can we talk about this bonus a little bit, what it is, and, really, is it for everybody? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So what it looks like is Facebook's going after YouTube creators, and they're trying to get some of the big YouTube creators to come over and post more content on Facebook. And Zuckerberg has said in interviews, he wants Facebook to be the platform that that content creators go first to create content. So he is going to incentivize people. So most of us probably won't qualify for that $3,000 bonus, but look in your dashboard. There may be a bonus. Once you get into this program, there are bonuses that will be offered to anybody. I'll look at mine while we're talking.
I think the $3,000 is for people who have 1 million followers over, and they're bringing them over. And the other thing, it's only a limited time, so it's only 3 months. I think there's like $1,000 is like if you have $100,000 and you're bringing them over. It's over 1 million if it's the $3,000 bonus. So most of us aren't going to qualify. Paul could, but most of us couldn't because we don't have that many followers. But it still doesn't mean that they're not throwing money at creators to get them to produce content.
So in my personal profile right now, I have 3 extra bonuses. I can earn $60 for a post that hits a certain amount. I can earn $8 just by posting more content, and a $6 bonus for sharing to groups. So keep checking your monetization. They're going to throw things at you to, again, they're just incentivizing you to create more content, and watch those because they'll tell you they want you to share to groups. So they want you to post reels, and they'll reward you for that. So make sure you're paying attention to what they're saying in your dashboard.
So do you think this is a long-term opportunity? I mean, this thing is only going to be 3 months for this, but do you think it's just a temporary push from Meta, or do you think it's something that they're really focusing on because they want creators back on the platform?
So that has been the question among all the people that I follow and have been talking to. They have been paying for video ads for at least 5 years. They've been doing this kind of bonus type payout for at least the last 3. Is it going to stick around? I don't know. The fact that they're offering $3,000 bonuses to pull YouTube over does signal to me that this is going to be around for a while. But the thing we know about Facebook is they will change this. This program is probably going to be around for a long time, but it's going to change. We are, and lots of people I'm talking to right now, March, we're seeing big declines in what you're being paid as they have let more people in, as they're incentivizing some of these big creators to come over. It looks like the total money in the program is being divided among more people. So my recommendation is take advantage of this right now. Again, you're not going to all of a sudden become Mr. Beast money, but take advantage of the fact that they are pushing your content out to more people to really grow your business. Like somebody said earlier, I still think YouTube is the long-term play, because that's where Google and Gemini and all are going to put their efforts into YouTube and shorts. So I think that is the long-term play. So as you create content for Facebook, please make sure you're sharing it on YouTube as well. But yeah, take advantage of anything that Facebook does like this. Take advantage of it while it's working.
So I want to just reiterate this, like Rich brought it up earlier. Like if you're creating content on other places and you haven't posted it to Facebook Reels, like if you're doing a bunch of Reels on TikTok or Instagram, whatever, make sure that you go back and post that content and schedule it, like Paul was saying, on Facebook. If you don't want to pay for like a Smarter Queue or an Agora Pulse or anything like that, just go and do the native thing and schedule some of that content that you've already used. Don't waste it. Like it's still, who knows what's going to happen. I've been recording all of anything I 3D print. I've been making a stop motion because I'll eventually start throwing that stuff on there because it worked. Should you turn on to automatically duplicate if something you post to Facebook goes to Instagram and vice versa, or should you separate those out in some way?
I would not do automatic posting. I have found that there are times when I've turned on automatic posting, like for powwows, and the content goes to both places and money gets turned off and the reach is different. So I would not do that. But again, it's experimenting and figure out what works. What I've been doing is posting. I post Facebook first because that's where I'm monetized. I post Facebook first, and then I may say, hey, also post this. There's a drop down and you can say, hey, also share this on Instagram, and I'll do that later. But I do not automatically post to both places.
That's great advice too, because a lot of people, it's just easier. Like,
it is easier.
But if you want to increase your reach, that's great advice. And you heard it here, folks. By the way, Rich says Oh, we might need a 2-hour bonus episode on this topic. By the way, my friend
Well,
Paul has actually got something coming up. When is it next week or the week after?
It's the end of April,
End
April
of April.
29th.
So he's got this Facebook Unlocked course that if any of you interested in it, he's kind enough to have a special link for our followers. If you go to jeffc.com/Facebook Unlocked, that's jeffc.com/Facebook Unlocked, you can sign up for this webinar cohort, work together with Paul kind of thing that he's doing on this topic. So make sure jeffc.com/Facebook Unlocked. It's going to be a lot of this stuff, but even deeper and even more tactical and strategic ways. And you'll be able to talk to Paul in the middle of all that too. So it's going to be amazing. Pat Mills asked this question, which I hadn't thought about. Like, what about subscriptions? That's one of the monetization options you see in there. It's listed to do, but is it worth it, or do I need to get monetized by Facebook first? How do subscriptions work, Paul?
Usually you get content monetization turned on first before subscriptions. Like my personal profile, I still don't have the ability to turn on subscriptions, and I don't know why. But if they're offering you that before content monetization, I would turn it on. Again, if Facebook's offering you something, take advantage of it and try it. So subscriptions can work, and there's a lot of people doing really well with that. So definitely turn that on. There's even a new one now, and I forgot what they call it, but basically you can have a cameo type thing on your profile where people pay you to make a video for their birthday or give them a message. I think it's called Storefront. So that's in there now. That could be turned on as well. Just check and see what programs you qualify for. And if you qualify for it, turn it on.
So I want to know, you guys, if you are posting more videos, are you posting more images, text? What are you posting on Facebook right now? Is it just you just throwing reels up? Like, I want to know what kind of content you're using. So wherever you're watching from, answer that question down below. Video, images, or text, because I would like to see what our audience is actually doing. But let's really quick talk about, we've mentioned it a lot, like the professional dashboard, where this stuff lives. Facebook does not make it easy with all the ads and the apps and, professional dashboard. So what is the professional dashboard, and why are so many creators ignoring it?
Oh, you need to be spending a few minutes in your professional dashboard every day. This is where they're going to give you your analytics. They're going to give you what's working. It's an easy place to go and find what comments you haven't responded to. All that kind of extra stuff that you get for turning on professional mode is underneath the professional dashboard. And some of the stuff is buried. It does change. It's different on the mobile than it is from the desktop. You just need to make a habit of every day going through all the tabs and checking to see what's in there. One of the things I've been showing people this week that people are missing, there is a place in there that it'll show you what your recent posts are, and you can hit a button and it'll automatically invite everybody who engaged with that post to follow your page. You can grow massive amounts by doing that. I think I've been doing that on my personal. I've picked up another 1,000 followers in the last month just from going in there and hitting the invite every day. Yeah. Again, it's a tool that Facebook's giving you, so take advantage of it.
See, that's something, one, it's hard to find, and two, going in there and doing that. But that's great practice if you're wanting to grow on Facebook. And if your demographics on Facebook, and like for me, it is, because one, people, if you're selling something or services, a lot of like the audience on TikTok isn't going to buy anything from you, right? They're just not. They're doom scrolling, they're flicking around, they're trying to get, and same with Instagram. I mean, Instagram's a great way to get seen, but the getting links back to your content or engaging with people, sometimes a little bit harder. People poo-poo on Facebook, but it's still the gorilla in the room right now, I think. That it's so big. This is from Zena has another comment. She goes, I do a mixture of everything, but Facebook is telling me now that my reels over 60 seconds is what's working. So that's what's so interesting, that you can go in now and like, okay, it's telling me what I should do. I should probably do it. Like, that's really, really cool.
Yeah. And just to show that it is different for everybody, I just looked at mine and it's telling me that my reel should be 15 to 30 seconds. So Facebook doesn't want to see me more. They want shorter versions of me. Apparently they like Xena better and they want longer pieces of content from her. Right. So yeah, it's different for everybody.
Yeah. People say, don't show your face, just show, what you're working on, for me. So the question that a lot of people get asked, and I'm sure you get asked, like what types of posts are performing best on Facebook right now? The answer is it depends. It depends on the algorithm and how it's going to work for you. And that's why this is so important, is to go in and look at your stats, and it's going to tell you like, hey, you don't need to do those text posts. Just do the reels and do it over 60 seconds like Zena was saying. So like Michelle's saying right now, like her reels, she went and checked, need to be 30 to 45 seconds. So, I mean, this is worth the price of admission right now, folks. It's telling you what to do.
Yes.
It's very cool. So anyway, very, very cool, Paul. Don't forget, folks, that Paul is not just here today, but he's got an amazing webinar coming up at jeffc.com/Facebook Unlocked. And also, we're going to use this time to say thank you so much for our sponsor, Ecamm. They got so much cool stuff coming up. They're going to be creator camps coming up later this year. They're going to UK soon. They're going to be in Chicago. So all sorts of cool stuff. But if you want to find out more about Ecamm and do what we're doing here on the show live, or even produced your own YouTube videos at home, ecamm.com/Jeff. You can save some money by using code Jeff15. Paul, if you had to give somebody just starting out, or they've been on Facebook for a while, but they've kind of really not been posting content, they're just kind of throwing stuff up willy-nilly, what would be a simple posting plan? What would it look like? Because you mentioned it's going to take a while for Facebook to learn what kind of content works for them. So should they do it for a week and then they'll have enough information, or should it be a whole month and then it, what kind of like timeline are we looking at?
Yeah, I would give yourself 30 days to experiment. And I'm starting a challenge for myself later today where I'm going to post 30 travel photos over the next 30 days. Try to figure out if there's, a theme like that you can do. And for the next 30 days, post twice a day. Post a photo, post a text, maybe throw in a few reels, and see what resonates. But you have to be posting, for a good consistent amount of time for Facebook to kind of learn you. And then you can start really getting the information out of that. And like we were just saying, start looking at your professional dashboard every day, and Facebook's going to tell you what's working. It will change. So give yourself 30 days. And if you can figure out a challenge or a topic or something like that that'll help you become more consistent, go for that.
So we talked about one of the best analytics to look at inside of the Facebook dashboard is what to post, like what kind of reels, how long, that kind of stuff. What's another metric inside of the dashboard that really, really matters to you, or that creators should be looking at? Is it engagement? Is it likes? Like, what are you looking at to resonate, to see that not only like the views, like let's say you're posting a reel and you have all these views, but if you have all these views and it's not driving traffic, or it's not growing your brand, or it's just vanity metrics. So what metric really matters the most to you when you go inside that professional dashboard?
You do want to look at your overall views, because that is going to tell you how much Facebook is showing you, but you really want to dive into engagement, because that is how much people are commenting, sharing, that kind of thing. And like, I'm looking at mine and it's telling me right now, hey, your engagement's down. You need to be posting more consistently. It actually told me, it gave me a warning and said, hey, you're not doing this right. But it'll also start showing you like what people are doing more. If they're reacting, if they're commenting, it'll start showing you whether it's showing your content to followers versus non-followers. And you really want to see that non-follower number go up, because that means that Facebook's really pushing you out to a new set of people. So yeah, look at your engagement number. That's where you're really going to start to see what's resonating, and not just what's getting seen. Getting seen is great, but it's the engagement that's going to help grow your following, and that's where you're going to get the money.
So I think you mentioned this earlier, but I want to reiterate. What's like the hierarchy of what's important to Facebook? I'm sure a share is really high, and then like where do likes and engagement kind of fall into that?
My understanding is share is number one, especially if they share it in Messenger. So they're using the Facebook tools to share it to somebody else. But doing a share is important. Then comments, and then reactions, likes, whatever. That's kind of last.
Is it important, like I've heard this especially over on Facebook, when you post new content, that you're supposed to wait, and like as soon as something comes in, you want to do it in the first hour, you want to re-comment if somebody leaves a comment on your post, because that'll give more juice to whatever. Is that the same on Facebook? Do we need, like, if we post a new reel, should we like sit there and wait for the first 15 minutes, for an hour, the day? Like, does it even matter? Like, we just can go the next day or whatever.
Facebook is looking at the first 30 minutes to see what that post is going to do, and then it will determine how it's going to handle it and what it's going to push it out. But they continue to examine it, and there are lots of people out there talking about they have posts that are 3-4 weeks old, and all of a sudden it will just spike. So going back to an earlier comment, Rich was asking about deleting old content. This is where I say don't delete old content, because a lot of creators are saying that Facebook, as it learns you, is going back and finding posts in your back catalog that they think would resonate and pushing them out to more people.
Very, very cool. So I think this is the last question we have time for. I'll bring it up from Michelle. She goes, if we continue to do what Facebook says what's working, does that skew the information? Meaning we do what is working, and that's what Facebook says to do, so we don't try anything new. That's a great question.
That is great. So again, I think you need to be posting multiple times. And so one of those times or 2 times a day, you're doing what Facebook's telling you, but you're still doing other stuff. Because like for me, a month ago, it was telling me it wanted more text posts. Now it's telling me it wants more reels. So they're looking at your trends and your audience as things grow, but you have to keep posting other types of content. That's the whole game, is posting multiple different formats of content to keep playing with the algorithm and see, and as your following grows, it's going to change. Like what works and what content people like is going to change.
Very, very cool. Well, Paul, this once again you're always a fount of information. So much stuff, and the proof is in the pudding. Like Sean is a great testimony to following Paul's advice and getting up past 1 million views. It's just amazing what just some of these simple tips and testing really can do for you. But Paul, I want to give you a chance to talk about where people can find you and talk a little bit about this new upcoming Facebook Unlocked webinar that you got going.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So, and I should have mentioned this earlier, but I do want to make sure I cover this. I had somebody actually send me a message the other day and said, hey, I listened to you talk, and I was at a conference in Boston in November. And she said, I pretty much discounted everything you said because you have 1.8 million followers. And she's like, I didn't think any of this stuff applied. She's like, I finally did what you said, and it's working with a small following. Sean only has 5,000 followers only. That's a huge number. Congrats, right, Sean. It doesn't matter how many followers you have anymore. It helps, but it doesn't matter. This all works if you just do it. So later in April, I'm going to host a 2-hour webinar. And so the first hour, I'm going to go through what Facebook monetization is, how to turn it on, some of the tips and tricks that I've learned, what's working, what's not working, and show you some of the posts I've done and how they worked. I'll dig into powells.com and show you all of that. The second hour will be questions, and we will go through and help everybody there to kind of get your questions answered and see if we can help you gain your following. So it's a 2-hour webinar coming up later in April, and jeffc.com/Facebook Unlocked.
Yes. So make sure you guys go do that. Once again, thank you guys so much for all that you have done today in the comments. Oh my gosh, the chat blew up. And we also want to give a shout out to our friends over on Ecamm. You can find out more about them at ecamm.com/Jeff. Thank you so much for Zena, Michelle, Rich, Sean, everybody who showed up in the chat today. You guys are amazing. We wouldn't be able to do this show without you. Thanks so much for watching. Tell your friends. And with that, we'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.